Hey guys, 5 things about me. So, first and maybe obvious, I like to eat. I am a foodie, but fortunately, financially, I can't afford to be a foodie. So, I'm a foodie, a frugal foodie. I like Mexican food, Italian food, I love chocolate, I love popcorn, but like the yummy popcorn from the movie theater. I probably shouldn't be, I don't want to be tempting you, but 5 facts about me, right? The next one is I am an introvert, and I know there's various degrees of introversion. You may not know that. I am very well aware of it. I am the kind of introvert where people think I'm a snob because I only speak when I'm spoken to. I have a hard time cracking that ice, breaking the ice. I have a hard time breaking ice and starting the small talk. I'm not good at small talk. I don't know how to talk about the weather. I don't know how to talk about like my day. It's just I don't understand. And I've always kind of been, when I was younger, I was told I was shy. And I didn't like that term because it defined like a weakness. To me, it defined a weakness and an awkwardness. But I later learned that being an introvert was just a personality type. It wasn't a fault. It wasn't like a defect. I'm just the way I am, and that's totally fine. But because of my introversion, I need a lot of downtime. I need a lot of like recharge time. I need quiet. I am overstimulated. Like if I have lights and noise and chaos and kids and people, it's overstimulating. But there are times where, like, I used to go out dancing, clubbing, and I would just like to dance. So I would love to go out there, and the energy from the people, it was very exciting. And I don't know if that, I guess I don't know. I think that's a little bit of extrovert. But anyways, so knowing that, like, if we ever ran into each other at the store or somewhere, I wouldn't know how to talk to you. I would probably say hi like 5 times because I wouldn't know where to go from there. Like these videos or posts, that's easy because I can take my time to kind of put together words and something maybe compelling. But when I'm on the spot, like I got nothing. I literally ran into someone in the Philly ministry. She had started attending a congregation at my assembly, and I told her hi I don't know how many times because she would say something and she'd stare at me like I'm supposed to say something else, and I'm just staring at her. And so anyways, trying, what is that, like 2 minutes of me talking about being introvert. I have my notes on my hand. So the third thing about me is I am crafty, but I don't really have like a niche. I'm decent at a lot of different things. So I'm decent at sewing, but I'm not great. Like I can't sew a dress. I'm decent at baking, but like you wouldn't want me to do your birthday cake or wedding cake. Actually, I've done birthday cupcakes and birthday cakes for myself and other people, but nothing like glamorous. I do beading, jewelry, little things like that, but again, nothing. I don't know, maybe I'm being modest, but I enjoy doing a lot of different things, but I don't really feel like I have a niche where like I have a prime focus. Check my notes. Head coverings. I started doing part-time head covering maybe 2 years ago when I got married. Just a little backstory, because everyone has their own story about why they do it. When I started attending the Messianic congregation, I saw women with the full head covering, part head covering, or they would veil themselves, just a scarf during certain portions of the service, sometimes some of them the whole entire time of the service. And I thought that was amazing because it's something that I learned about, and I was able to finally see it in person for myself. And in many different religions, there is a head covering out of respect to the Lord and to remember that He is your covering. So it's a constant reminder of the Lord being your shield and protection, and you're in his presence. So there's that. But then also marrying a man who Messianic Hebrew is what he identifies as. We do have Jewish in our background. We both, my husband and I, did not know that until more recently, our 20s, which my 20s isn't so recent anymore. But anyway, so we learned, and because his ministry is to the Jew first, I wanted to honor and respect him as my husband. If he's going to be out ministering, I want to make sure that I'm honoring not only him, but the culture, and being respectful as a married woman. Every culture has their own identifier of a married woman. Cultures wear different jewelry, cultures wear their hair braided differently, cultures wear different makeup, whichever. When they get married, there's an identifier. And as a Jewish woman, the identifier, one of them is as a head covering. And there's various degrees of head covering, and so it's two reasons: honor the Lord, honor my husband. And in Corinthians, one of the Corinthians, it talks about when you're in prayer, when you're teaching, cover your head. And it was also like a protection. And I don't really know too much about it, but there's a lot of people that talk about when the woman covered her hair and kind of shield herself, it was protection from the angels and from, bad angels and from bad people. It was a shield, it was a protection of the women, not to suppress the woman, but I was told it was a wartime tactic. You're protecting the women so that you would surround them. But so those are a few different reasons why I do the head covering and what I've learned about it. I don't do it full time, but when I'm not wearing a head covering, my hair is tied up and pulled back. Another reason why is because I feel like if I'm dressed and I'm covering essentials, my hair is also an essential, and so I make sure that is not exposed as well. So it's a personal conviction. I'm not trying to impress or imply or anything. Some people will get offended that I am implying that they're immodest or not following the Lord or whatever. But again, my personal convictions, because this is 5 facts about me. Work. Okay, recently, 5 months ago, I started working in this industry that I've never really worked in before, and it was kind of difficult for me to accept it, but I feel the Lord brought me to the area that I'm living in now 3 years ago, and I could not find work here. In fact, the first year plus, I was still driving back to the previous job. It was like a 45-minute drive, sometimes more. I was stuck in traffic. My kid was in a child care school system from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and that's not what I wanted for her. That's not what I wanted for our family. And then every single month my car would break down. Every single month I'd have belts flopping under the engine, and because of God I was able to even get to my job. And the fascinating thing about that is that there were mechanics on hand. I used to work for a trucking company to import, export. Anyway, so the mechanics that helped me, and for free, they only said, we need your keys and money for parts. They never charged me labor. The mechanic's name was Jesus, and for those that don't know, Jesus is just Spanish for Jesus. And so my husband, one time he called to check on me. He was like, hey, how's your car? And I was like, it's fixed. And he was like, who fixed your car? And I said, Jesus. And he's like, I know Jesus fixed your car, but seriously, who fixed your car? I'm like, no, really, Jesus. So that's a funny story. In fact, I made the mechanics a cake, and on one of them I wrote, thank you, Jesus. And so even Jesus himself, he was like, oh, she's thanking Jesus, that's sweet. And then he had to click. It's a fun story. So being out in this, where I am now, it took me 3 years to get a job in this area, and my stipulation was I want to take my daughter to school and I want to pick her up. I couldn't do the after, I had years of where I didn't see my daughter because she was in after school, before school care, and no one would hire me, but I found someone hire me, and now I work for a cleaning service, which she does. It's a family-owned Christian-based company, and what we do is we're in teams of 2 or 4, depending on the workload. We'll go into people's homes and clean, or in offices. She has, and actually she's grown these last few months. Esthetician office, doctor's office, wedding venues, so on and so forth. So she's growing and expanding, and I do that, and it's kind of difficult for me to tell people because I'm always scared of what people are going to think. But my grandma said it's honest hard work, so it's good. But the fun fact about that is, like, people are paying me to go into their house and bless their their homes or their families, and so I do pray over the homes, and I do pray over the families, and there's actually been some difficult ones. My boss said one of the ladies was a good witch. And so that was a difficult home, and I hadn't been back since. There's homes, different religions, and so there are these altars or shrines and statues and things on the wall, and fortunately my boss and my coworkers, I'll let them know, like, I don't feel comfortable, I'll go upstairs, and upstairs is just the bedrooms, and I'll pray over in the kids' bedrooms. And I don't try and pick fights. I learned, don't pick fights in the spiritual realm. If the Lord didn't send you to pick fights, don't pick a freaking fight. So I just try and pray blessings. And so that's been kind of fun. Since working there, my employer gave me a pay increase. And it's pretty nice because I work by myself, and that helps with my whole introversion. Everyone gets a room, and I take care of my room, move on to the next room, and I get to take my daughter to school and pick her up. So, and the women, I work primarily with women. I get along with all of them. And that is very hard to say about other jobs, to get along with everyone. But, I'm going to tag 5 women. I don't know who yet. So, thank you guys for your time. Bye.